all. This is Laura Bubnick of the Technology Assistance Group of Hamilton County ESC. Welcome to 6 weeks to Google Classroom Fluency. In this set of modules, we will work through helping you as the teacher become more fluent in using Google Classroom, as well as getting your students involved. You'll notice we have a 6-week program where each week focuses on a little bit different aspect, and we'll walk you through pieces to becoming more comfortable and, as we said, fluent in using Google Classroom. In week 1, which is this video, we are going to get started and set up our classroom. We won't actually add students until next week in week 2. Weeks 3 and 4 are going to focus around posting different types of assignments and how you'll grade them. Week 5 focuses on posting announcements and the difference between an announcement versus an assignment. And lastly, week 6 will work on integrating forms with Google Classroom. As I mentioned, this video is week 1, getting started. We're going to create a class here in just a second. I'll give you a tour. We're going to set some permissions, invite co-teachers, and set up our About page. So the first thing you need to do is go to classroom.google.com and you'll see a screen that looks like this. And we're going to click up here in the top right-hand corner. And you'll notice it says Join Class and Create Class. We are the teacher. We want to create class. So I'm going to give my course a name. If it has a section number, go ahead and give it a section. And this is Google Classroom. You will notice that it will automatically give you a theme for your course. So it's going to show me the title, the section number, who the instructor is. If I want to change the theme, over here on the right, I can hit Select Theme, and a whole different set of themes show up. You can choose any one you like. The other option is to upload a photo. So if you have a photo of your class, or you want to upload your school, or something else meaningful, you can choose your own photo. This is the main page, the stream, and once we get some students and some assignments in here, the center section will fill up with a stream of information. Over on the left, this will be where assignments show up for when work is due. This stream button, as we add items, when you're done with them, you have the ability to delete them. This lets you turn on and off seeing those deleted items. And then down here on the bottom on the left, this is the class code, and this is really important. This will come into play next week when we want students to actually join our class. But for right now, we don't need to do anything with it. Over here on the right, this big purple plus button will be very important in later weeks. This button will let us actually create our content, our announcements, our assignments, or questions. For right now, we're going to let that be. In my second tab, this is where my students will appear once I get them inside my class. I also have another section here where students can post and comment. We're going to pause here for a second and look at these different items. In this section, it allows you the ability as the teacher to turn on or off students' ability to just post and comment on things. I have found that I recommend for upper level grades, mostly high school, but you could do junior high as well, that if you give them the ability to post and comment, they treat it a little bit more respectfully, but not always. Elementary students tend to suddenly jump in there like it's a chat board and just start posting things like crazy. So if I leave it set to students can post and comment, students pretty much have free access and can do anything. So in an alternative way of thinking, when I create classes for PD sessions, I leave this checked because I want my teachers posting and commenting and being interactive members of my course. Sometimes I don't want that, and I only want them to be able to comment on things that I want them to comment on. And the other option is only the teacher can post or comment, and that is just the teacher posting, turns it on and off for everyone else. The other piece to this is that you can turn this on and off at any moment. So you might want to turn one of these two features on for a specific assignment with the kids. Maybe you do want them using and creating essentially a chat board. You can turn that off for the following and subsequent classes once you're done with it. So for right now, I tend to default to only teacher can post or comment until I've really instructed my students on what I want them to do. The last tab is the About tab, and this is pretty important. We're going to set this page up as well. It has a lot of things going on. This is stuff that you want always visible to your students. Within the stream, new items get added to the top and replace older items as they get pushed down. on the About tab, the items you set are always visible. So I'm going to go ahead and label my course. I'm not going to give it a description right now. It meets in room 103. You'll notice it sets up a Google Drive folder. So this folder, you'll notice when it's initially set up the class, it took a second for it to get going. In my Google Drive, this folder was being created. So as I start to post announcements and assignments and I'm collecting work from students, it will all end up in this folder in my Google Drive. You'll notice there's also a new feature that allows Google Classroom to integrate with Calendar. So if your school is a big Google Calendar user, this is great because those assignments will also carry over, their due dates will carry over into your Google Calendar. You'll notice I have the ability to add materials. This is a nice one. So I'm going to go ahead and actually add my syllabus. I want you to notice there's the paperclip, which is a normal attachment. I can also directly upload items from my Google Drive. I can upload YouTube videos or attach links. So maybe you have a link to your textbook. This would be a great place to permanently post that link so students can always access those online materials. I'm going to grab out in my Google Drive real quick my biology syllabus. I'm going to go ahead and add that. Notice I can post. Okay. The other thing I want you to notice is over here I have the ability to invite a teacher. So I am going to go ahead and invite my other co-teacher, Rob. He is showing up in my contacts because I've already added him. If you don't have any contacts, you will need to go into your Google contacts and add another teacher that way first. So I'm going to go ahead and invite Rob to be our co-teacher in this course. Oh, I didn't save up here. We're going to put this as biology. Save. And there we go. So now on my About page, this information is permanently viewable. My syllabus is permanently viewable. My co-teacher, once he accepts, he will be able to add and tweak things within our classroom just as I can. Co-teachers have equal rights. I think that pretty much concludes our tour today. Next week, we're going to focus on posing questions, inviting students, and having our students answer questions. Go ahead and get started on this assignment, setting up your class. Play around with it. If you don't like something, pretty much everything on here is editable by the teacher. Worst case scenario, you can delete the class and start completely over.